Good evening, Free Enterprise fans, and welcome to our Monday night community race. I am Alicel, and I am joined here by Inven. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, doing great. Excited to be back on comms with you. Always a pleasure, Allie. And it looks like we got a pretty fun flag set tonight.
We sure do. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
To me, my favorite part is the intersection here of Start Sid and Sea Hero. When Sea Hero was introduced, everyone was, figuring out which characters make this extremely nasty, which ones are really friendly, and Sid is just so generous on a Sea Hero flag set. He has very few problems dealing with the mirror chamber on Ordeals solo because he comes with levels. Even though we're Neki, it shouldn't be too hard to find a weapon for him. His agility is fantastic. We're starting with a dwarf axe, which is -5 agility. So even if you don't find a cursed ring, you're probably not going to have a lot of endgame problems or Zeromus problems with him being your hero. And finally, his weapon pool Ekikol, which Forge is required, is so fun. Both his fiery and Thor's hammers are just so fun to use. But even beyond that, the Giant Axe can also be used by Cecil and Kane. So you don't even have to let Sid be your big swinger if you get that from your Forge. So super fun. Love to have him as a hero. What else are we looking at with these objectives?
Well, we've got T Wildish with Cell Quarter. Kind of balance each other out. You find a lot of powerful stuff that you can sell, but it doesn't sell for quite as much. So S standard is on, so you are going to see your Bacchus wines, your sirens, your hourglasses, all of that fun stuff. Which, Sid doesn't need levels, but probably the characters with him might need a few.
Sounds good. And shout outs to our volunteers for the restream tonight. We got John Burkhead, we got Rybon, Professor Renderer, and Scorch. So if you're not giving them a follow, make sure you do, all signing up to put themselves on blast and be analyzed here in the booth and give you all a good show. So thanks to them, and also thanks to Fiery Blizzard handling the tracking and S-Grunt doing the restream. So great crew here, both behind the scenes and on your screen. So looking to be a good one.
And chat pointing out another really nice pull for that Sid with T Wildish is an Artemis bow. The arrows are a T7, but it's not unusual to at least see an Artemis bow floating around.
Oh yeah. And the stats on that, making up for his general speed deficiency, letting him just wreck through the game. But Sid just has such a great variety of weapons too. All the axes, all the hammers, all the bows. Probably one of the best weapon pools out there once you actually get rolling.
And just a giant health pool to handle any nasty HP-based bosses that might pull up.
Yep. As for our objectives, we got Baron Castle. That's very Sid-centric. We got the Troya Treasury. I mean, tons of loot on T-Wild. Just going to get some fun stuff. Super Cannon, sure, that's mechanical. And the Guaranteed Forge for one of those Supersmith weapons, gonna be good.
And we are off and starting with some old men and a hook.
As someone with a beard and glasses and is fond of explosions, this is my kind of starting team. I'm feeling it.
And Tella, another one of those characters, definitely with a lot of utility. Once he learns that Berserk spell, just start Berserking Sid with everything.
And the nice thing is that we were talking about agility. Tella's one of those characters who loses a bit of oomph on Sea Hero with a lot of heroes, just because they get faster and faster. He gets a little bit of speed, but he doesn't keep up with a lot of the speedsters. So having Sid as the partner here means Tella will be able to stay useful a little bit longer in the game, even without a cursed ring handy.
And we see Rybon heading straight to check that bedward. Hopefully our other runners remembering that free key item is on at bedward, and that is a Luca key. Boy.
Not one you're really fond of here. We do have a way underground already, Hook. There are grinds you can do on trapdoors if you don't find sirens. But that cave is such a slog. Its main redeeming factor is you do get to peek the key item before you leave. So if it's garbage, you don't have to fight anything. Problem solved.
And just a casual cat claw on Professor Renderer's side. We find a Yang. Cat claws are good.
Yeah, they help. A really good stat stick. +5 strength, +5 agility. His damage still mostly based on levels, though, so won't do a lot of good there. One thing I am excited to see here in the Troya Public Treasury is a Grimoire for everyone. Love that item. It calls from a random segment of the summon pool, and it's just, it's pulling the slot machine in the early game. You want to roll a Bahamut, someone's going to roll a Chocobo, and you're going to feel real bad for them, but we'll have a good chuckle over it.
Well, I would rather pull a Chocobo that does some damage. Oh, it looked like, does Professor Renderer have encounters on?
May have accidentally clicked that. We did see Professor Render did a cute little Team Fortress 2 naming scheme for the full party. May have accidentally toggled that on while doing that early menuing, but toggles it back off. Not going to have any more encounters unless he wants some.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen those frogs since like 1994. But we see 3 of our 4 runners heading straight over to the Eblin area. Gonna do a few quick chests here. Probably gonna see what they're selling there in the shops, and probably gonna see who that 3rd character is.
Yeah, and we see Scorch here going ahead and going into Eblin Castle. This spot does have really high loot tiers. We see a Protect Ring already, and maybe trying to find something here that can... Maybe we see an early hook route. Sid's a character who can kind of make that happen, or at least get, funds to buy some stuff like sirens and coffins here in the item shop.
And Professor Renderer actually picking up an Earth Hammer. That is a really nice weapon for that Sid. And John Burkhead getting trolled by small children.
But was that a rune axe behind the small child? Ooh. So this kind of plays into what we were talking about with Sid just having such a fun weapon pool in the early game. Earth Hammer, going to be strong versus robot types. You can use it as an item to do a low-powered Quake, which is be fantastic in the early game. And that Rune Axe, going to just any mage type. We see Magus Sisters, we see Baron Guards, we see Asura. Sid is going to tear them apart.
And we see a Palom. Palom being the more preferred of the 2 black mages just because he learns his spells a little bit earlier and doesn't have quite as miserable of an XP curve.
True, and that was Odin right behind. That is a fight that I don't think you're going to be able to rush just yet. Probably going to want to power up this team a bit more. Extremely weak to lightning. I believe you get ×4 damage, but you're kind of on a clock at that ruby spot. If that Zen Tetsukin comes out before you get the kill, I don't think this team's making it. Sid can survive them with a few more levels, but not quite yet.
And Professor Renderer being the only one of our runners to do the full dive of Watery Pass. I've seen 2 defense swords, and some other just really nice goodies, as well as a Zeus Rage. Those are actually kind of good.
Oh yeah, Watery Pass, another great T-Wildish place. Not quite as highly ranked, in the loot tiers as Eblin Castle, and a little less dense. But if you have the exit spell from Tella to let you only go through it one way, it can still get you some really good stuff. And it's nice counterplay against the community at large, who is typically more fond of the Eblin Castle.
And John Burkhead, finding the trap chest, knows which one it is and knows that he can loot everything else in this cave.
Yeah, we did see... Ooh, by the way, Stardust Rod. Both Palom and Tella are going to be fighting over that pretty soon. Because Tella will get Lightning 3 from Ordeals. Great for that Odin fight. But Palom has the wider utility just because of his MP pool and the fact that he will learn Quake at level 31. Pardon me, 31. Level 23. Don't know why I said 31. That was weird.
Well, and we do see Soma drops for sale here in Kaipo. Tella is probably the best person to get a Soma drop, although 10,000 gold is pretty steep.
Yeah, it does unlock Meteo once you've done Ordeals, though, and gives you a nice even, multiple of 25 if you have any interest in doing like a D-Machine grind. Don't think we'll see that with those Sirens for Cell this seed, though.
Did sell a Thunderclaw for to afford more life potions. Might feel a little bit bad about that, depending on the characters we see and when he finds that Odin.
Yeah, the one that Thunderclaw could be shockingly useful. We mentioned we found the Cat Claw for Yang, getting the quad damage from Thunderclaw, even at the early 20 levels, which is when we'll be going down that hook route probably. Yang can save the day there.
And finding a Cecil here on Hobbs. Cecil, another one of those characters you love to see. Like you said, if we find one of those nice axes from Forge, and I think we have potential to find some crystal swords.
Oh yeah, and there were coffins for Cell back in Eblin Cave, which effectively for the Cecil and the Cid here, that makes 2 of the 3 fights in Eblin Castle kind of free. They will have the armor and the survivability when you're done with ordeals to deal with both the Mad Ogre and the Lamia Quirrell chest. And I would be rolling those dice and hoping to pull Excal or Crystal Sword as quickly as I could.
And Rybon is going to do the other side of Mount Hobbs. I love this check because I've always found good things here, and with the Tella, it's so quick.
Would you like even more Crystal Armor this seed? Crystal Armor, kind of an awkward item. It's extremely great defense, and if you want to do any kind of cover strats, you love to have it. But it gives Berserk immunity, and I believe the only easy way to get past that is to have an Avenger that you swap over to. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I think that a lot of the technical crew have figured out that you can also bypass that with a well-timed Power Staff bonk, but it's not something that you're going to see in action, even if that is the case.
Today I learned.
I think they were saying that weapon procs well-timed can get through those immunities, but again, it's not something I've seen put to the use that frequently in races.
But Rybon and Scorch are in lockstep. Finding a Sparkle here in Antlion. Just some D-Lunars. Not really threatening.
Well, I love Scorch here using the Artemis Bow and the Holy Arrows to get quadruple damage here. Holy Arrows do bonus damage to undead, and Cid just utterly destroying them. Of course, this one Stardust Rod use should also clean up very nicely for Rybon. 2 great ways of dealing with that fight. Well done by the runners.
Would you like a third Dwarf Axe?
For what it's worth, Back Row Glitch is available on this flag set. You can do it with a Dwarf Axe for Cecil, for Cid, for Kane, but you're right, you don't really need all the extras at this point. We're kind of all set.
Rybon saying no thank you to that XP and that third Dwarf Axe says, I'll just reset. That's fine.
Rosa's mom, Miss Farrell up in here with a Rune Axe and a Grimoire on her bookshelves. What class do you think she was in her youth? She says White Mage, but I'm wondering right now.
I'm going to go with a Berserker.
We do see a Rosa in the Baron Inn right there. Fantastic White Mage eventually out of the team. Power Couple is on the menu. Cecil and Rosa and T Wildish, you probably won't need a lot more to beat the game.
Yeah, all you need is Cure 4 and a Crystal Sword, and yeah.
Elements fight. Here, appearing for Rybon, that Dark Knight Cecil. I'm helping! If that is a Rune Axe on the Cid, though, the Ruby form here takes the Mage weakness. Oh, but you know what everything's weak to in the overworld?
Rocks.
Stardust Rock. Yeah.
And Professor Renderer finding the Kaipo guards here. This is the first spot in Baron Inn. Ugh.
They have so much HP. Not, like, it's really sad. And Bacchus wine from the King of the Bull. Escron, where are the key items? Where'd you put them?
I love a good Bacchus wine.
But second fight Baron Inn is Magus Sisters. Kind of wish you had that Grimoire there. Grimoire could high roll there and make that easy for Professor Renderer. A bunch of our other runners will probably have an easy time between the Stardust Rod and the Rune Axe. Not going to be difficult for them to pick up that Rosen a bit.
And spot 1 on Ordeals having our Canadian content, that is an Ogopogo. If you're going to see Ogopogo somewhere, that's where you want to see him.
Oh yeah, like lowest physical attack power in the game. The waves are still going to be a little obnoxious, but you don't really have to worry about the follow-up punches at this spot.
Well, and it turns out when your party doesn't have very much HP, it doesn't take a whole lot to cure them back up.
Also, yes.
Ogopogo, not really liking having stars thrown at him, does do his Blaze counterattack.
Yeah, I like the strategy of just going for the pure damage here, though. Just, speed over efficiency. You may have to burn a few more resources to keep the team healed up here, but your Dark Knight Cecil's not contributing to this fight. Tella doesn't have a whole lot to do other than cure 2, and rather than let Palom be dead weight, use the Stardust Rod. I like it.
Mindy, please, don't hit your sister.
That is one of the favorite things about the Baron Inn spots. The agilities at these spots frequently cause the Magus Sisters to have some self-inflicted wounds.
And Scorch trying to take down the sister that is casting the spells because, it kind of hurts.
Now, the one risky thing here, of course, is that once Cindy goes down, you can't remedy anyone, or she can't remedy the other sisters back up, but Sandy will use a Confuse spell, and depending on who that hits, could be a little problematic here.
Tella actually getting a life spell off, unfortunately, on himself.
Yeah, little targeting error there, slip of the thumb, it's fine though. And John Burkhead revealing another boss that I'm sure those of you in chat would have loved to have seen on the moon. Bombs here at the back attack spot.
And John Burkhead getting what I always get from my grimoires, I've never rolled high in my life, and getting Odin, which is even less useful than Chocobo.
Funny thing is that if you wait for after the explosion, that Odin roll would be really good here. And Scorch is through the Magus Sister fight. Gonna get a key item check here and add the best white mage in the game to the team. That's required.
And Professor Renderer actually finding another free fight there on the waterfall. That was Baron Guards.
Yeah, we know now. Oh, Professor Renderer has not been to Bedward yet. I'm worried that Professor Renderer may have forgotten that the free item at Bedward is on, because there are no boss hunts. The main reason to peek that spot is if you're hunting a D-Mist. So hopefully the Luca key doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things for Renderer's sake.
And looks like Scorch is going to go ahead and hold off on checking the treasury. Going to say, I'd like to power up my my Tella and my Cecil first.
Oh yeah, makes perfect sense. If you're going to Troya with the intent of climbing the entire Tower of Zot, you want Cecil to already be in Paladin form.
And another nice thing about a Sid hero is you have to do this by yourself up here on the top of Ordeals. Close.
Which is it? Which is it? Aww. I was hoping so much for a gauntlet there. Just because if we had seen the gauntlet, we were going to see Earthhammer strats in action by at least some of our runners. Which I think they're great. I love seeing an Earthhammer used to great effect here.
Fight, trash. Fight. I always enjoy the good renaming Edward and then Anna yelling, fight, trash. Fight, yeet.
So everyone's job the next time you are a restream runner is to come up with a new and creative, hilarious name for your Edward, and you must fight Waterhag. Just whoever comes up with the best one, yeah, well, you don't win anything, but you get to be extremely proud of yourself.
Oh, and Professor Render found a white lance there in Antlion. I don't know that any of our other runners found that. If we pick up a cane, that's better than a Tella.
Well, but Professor Renderer ran through Watery Pass earlier and found 2 defense swords already, so little counterfeited by the gear he's already found.
That's true. Unless you're fighting something with holy weakness.
That's true. Anyway, John and Rybon both finishing up ordeals, running down the mountain. Won't surprise me if they now. Did John bother with Fabul yet? Rybon doesn't have a lot of options left. He's already kind of cleared everything else, except for
I think they're both going to head to Baron Inn.
Yeah. I wonder if now, chat, Allie, did John Burkhead go to Fabul? I don't think he did. I thought he went right to Ordeals, didn't he?
I think so, but I can't swear to that.
Our tracker, Fiery Blizzard, got us covered, so maybe trying to delay that and hopefully get the single dip via getting a pan and underground access.
That's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, but I like the lockstep here, the neck and neck running through here between John Burkhead and Rybon. Very fun. Only a fire sword for that Cecil. Now, of course, our runners will get the Earth Crystal from here, which, what is the... Let's pull up those flags.
I don't think there's a tier limit.
Ooh. All right. Wildish with no tier limit means you can have up to tier 8s in that Troya Treasury, including Excals and Crystal Swords. If either of those pop up there, if they don't pop up, I wonder if our runners are going to check Trap Chests in Eblin in the hopes of getting that Cecil outfitted. If they do pop up, I think they're just going to go into overdrive.
I definitely agree with that. Odin can give you a little bit of pause, at least until the kid either gets Quake or at least Lit 2. But if you have a Crystal Sword, that solves most problems.
I wonder too, though, we do have a Dwarf Axe, which -5 agility for Sid helps out a bit that fight. But that's one of those situations where you would love your Cecil to be operating at, max speed, relative agility 1, getting an action in the queue every single tick, especially while zerked. And if we don't find... I mean, we know Scorch has an Artemis Bow. You can start the fight with that. That helps Cecil out a lot. And I think we saw a crystal ring in Eblin Castle as well, so that could help a lot. But I'm just wondering how much agility manipulation is going to matter for that fight, if we even have to take it.
But we see both John Burkhead and Rybon getting their Earth Crystal. I'd like to think that both are going to head straight to Troya.
Oh yeah, with T Wildish no max tier, that is very, very much where you want to go right now. In fact, the only reason I think Scorch wouldn't have done that is, again, Cecil can't equip that gear yet. Might as well do it after Ordeals. Cabins and Ethers and Starvale's very nice item shop here in Baron. Rybon going to stock up a little bit, which means John will be the first one to give us a peek at this treasury. I'm getting my reading glasses on, and I'm ready to look at these. Hopefully, no inventory bosses in store. Oh yeah, and chat pointing out it is an objective too, but even more than that.
Yeah, it's T Wildish. It's stuff. Stuff is good.
See what we're getting.
Great Vast Treasury!
I've seen a light sword.
Yeah, a light sword, a defense sword, and a Zeus gauntlet. So we didn't pull the two jackpot items, as I would describe them. Lots of good stuff in there. I'm honestly a little more excited about what we saw for a Kain than for a Cecil. Lightsaber and defense sword are fine for him, but that's not what you want when you have a Cecil. You want the big bada boom. Big bada boom.
Now, remind me, can we fight the flame dog and pull a crystal sword?
Loot probability curves. Where's that wiki link? Wiki.ff4FE. Treasure probability curves. T Wildish. Let's scroll down. Trap chest. Tower of Zot. There is an 18.13% chance of a tier 8. And if it is a tier 8 with no adamants on, we know it's an Excalibur crystal sword. So sure, 18% chance if anyone wants to hunt that flame dog.
I mean, out of all the trap chests, that's probably the fastest one to get to. John Burkhead saying no, but we'll see what Rybon wants to do.
Yeah, you see, for me, I think that I would be more interested in just going through Eblin Castle. We probably have to go back there anyway for the hook route. And this team, you get a little bit more XP, you get really prepped. Flame Dog, especially if it's up in like the little Rybon? Nope. Not in this chest. I'll be really surprised if Rybon goes up to it if it's not in one of the first two chests. The others are just so far out of the way, it feels.
Yeah, if it's not in these two, I'm not looking for it. But finds it in the vanilla trap chest location.
All right, let's see if there is a big payday here. Octomammoth up at the Magus Sister spot. Lightsaber will do half damage here. Octo resists wholly to make in the vanilla game, make your darkness swords do a little extra damage. So defense sword actually will be a better pick here than the lightsaber by far. And speaking of defense swords, more.
Well, you can always sell them. Buy more stuff.
Yeah. You will. I mean, we've seen how many this season? We've seen 4 already.
Yes, we've seen 4 already. So, sell 3, keep 1 for in case you can't find anything better, and buy 25 sirens.
Something like that. I don't think I'd even keep 1. Like I find Cecil a proper weapon in Eblin Castle, sell all those. I just like, we saw a Dragoon Lance, right? That is my favorite Kain weapon. Admittedly, not on average as strong as the White Lance or the other one, but with all the dragon types in the game, it's like the one-stop shop, and it has a better sound effect on the attack animation than the other two.
So which is stronger, the defense sword or the lightsaber?
Let's go to the chart. It's because accuracy actually plays a small role in this, if I remember correctly. Swords. Lightsaber is 99 and 99. Defense sword is 105 and only 90 accuracy. So up until you hit a certain level breakpoint, the lightsaber will be better. Lightsaber also has plus 3 strength, which if it hits a breakpoint on the strength multipliers also makes it better. But once you hit at least minimum, once you hit level 36, the defense sword will be stronger if it's not giving you a multiplier. Did that make sense? I think that made sense.
There's an edge.
Yeet.
Yeah, I think one of the old men need to go for a dive off the Are dupes on this team?
I think duplicate. I think you can have duplicate characters. I think I'm more interested in having 2 Cecils here.
I'd eat a Palom, just.
Get rid of Palom and Tella. I would.
Yeah, I would get rid of Palom and Tella. Because we found a ninja sword, and it's T standard. You'll find some more ninja swords for sale, and you could afford them.
Yep. Edge is the first character we've seen who can use a Thunderclaw. We know Odin's down there guarding the way underground. Let's just get a couple of crystal swords and a Masamune from the 3 Upland trap chests, and just live our best lives.
I'd be here for it. I mean, I wouldn't even be greedy. Just an X-Cal and a crystal sword.
Oh, okay. Way to humble your Cecils. And we have a third boss that I'm sure we all would have loved to have seen on the moon. Antlion down here. Not so bad. Pretty aggro at the spot, but this team is not going to have any problems.
No, this is a better spot for Antlion. It would actually be worse if Mom Bomb was here. Mom Bomb at this spot is miserable.
And so we see John going with an Edge Cecil combo, Rybon going with double Cecil, ditching the Tella, in fact, instead of the Palom. Kind of interesting to see the dynamics here. I kind of like having the Tella around as a second source of Berserk. Like, if you have the more characters you want to Zerk up, we've not seen Bacchus Wines or Avengers yet. I kind of like having the extra source of Zerk. So I think I would have gone with, I don't know. It's hard to say. But each of these party comps has its advantages and disadvantages.
Well, and Scorch can be our third runner here. We'll see what he goes with. Is gonna ditch that second Cecil.
Yep. So 3 runners, 3 different party comps now.
Now, I feel like if you do Eblin and you pull out 2 crystal swords, you immediately go back to Mysidia and pick up that second Cecil.
Yeah. The rescue is enabled. It's not turned off this seed, so. Ooh! Masamune! As the reward. I wonder if that's going to give Rybon second thoughts when he leaves here.
Yes. Masamune is the good one, right?
Yes, yeah. Masamune is basically always better than Murasame or Ninja Blade. Ninja Blades and Murasames, they piggyback each other in efficacy depending on if you're reaching a stat breakpoint or not.
I just know one of them messes with agility and the other one doesn't.
Yeah. So John here, not done for Bull yet, left it for last. Rybon here, going to be out of choices, knows the hook route is the only route. But I'm, again, with this team, are you going to go fish for some holy swords or maybe more Hanzo steel?
I would, but I'm also a loot goblin.
That's not landing next to the hovercraft. That has the castle written all over it.
Yep, heading into Eblin Castle, hoping to pick up. And yeah, he looted here earlier, so he knows exactly where these trap chests are.
Yeah, and let's see. What are we rocking with? Looking for some J items. Finds nothing. Through that last grimoire a moment ago in the Antlion fight. But we have a very well-equipped Cecil in the back on cover duty.
Yeah, I'm not seeing there being too many issues with this team, especially with Palom with Virus.
I just wonder, like, do you go back and swap for that edge if you find another really great katana here?
or even a Thunderclaw, because I think Professor Render was the only one of our runners to see that Thunderclaw.
Yep, and he also sold that Thunderclaw, so I guess Palom does provide some like long-term utility as well. Like eventually, if you get the tier 3 elemental spells, he can contribute a lot. But really, like I'm so torn between wanting a second source of Zerg, wanting another extremely strong hitter. If Bacchus finds for sale, you don't really need that second source of Zerg. So on and so forth.
I didn't see what our first trap chest item was.
My brain read it and immediately had no strong reaction to it. Oh, Protect Ring. Thank you to our tracker, Fiery Blizzard, doing great work. Notably here, John Burkhead not... Well, wait. Is this a... Oh, you're not buying 17th Coffin, so that has to be a Siren purchase, yeah. Not going for these trap chests, so Rybon losing a little bit of time here. If he doesn't pull out a big hit and stick for these Cecils, John's going to have a pretty clear lead on the restream.
Did pull out that Artemis bow, though. In a pinch, an Artemis bow's not bad for a Cecil.
Oh yeah, like we talked about how Sid's our hero, and we do have a Dwarf Axe to help out a little bit, but having, you know, the bonuses from plus agility weaponry can make that even cleaner in your Odin rotation. Life Staff, very nice stat stick.
Ninja Hat.
And I think those were lightning arrows in that left. Like honestly, lightning arrows plus an Artemis bow, also a really great way to tear through Odin's HP pool.
And did pick up in Murasame out of just an untrapped chest, whereas John Burkhead saying, I don't care about these trap chests, I just want to go kill this Odin and get underground.
Yeah. So we'll see if this time investment pays off for Rybon. Now, I don't think we've seen the Mad Ogre chest yet. It must be down here as well. Running a couple of coffins and a virus to clean up the kitties.
And Professor Renderer going to go ahead and trek out his treasury. Going to find some of those nice items, but be disappointed with lack of crystal swords.
And notably, Palom learned Quake for Rybon right there. And ooh, that's a spicy King Queen Evelyn fight.
And that's a spicy crystal sword.
All right. Well, advantage Rybon? I'm willing to say it. White shirt as well. Oh, this basement is delightful. But John here feeling the pain of not having some extra levels here. This Dark Knight Cecil at this spot, super fast, super damaging. We do have good HP pools on Cecil and Sid, but it's still tricky to get through here if you can't get your cures off at good times. I think we got an elixir kicking around though, don't we?
Yes. Somebody has an elixir.
Now are we going to see second Holy Sword for Rybon? Ogres are down. What are we getting?
Just another Stardust Rod.
Yeah, a little bit of a womp, but even the one crystal sword is huge here. It's huge.
Now, Rybon knows where the trap chest on the way down here is. Does he stop, give it a whirl, or says, I have Quake, I am confident in my ability to take out that Odin?
I doubt he will at this point. I think once you get the one crystal sword, like you knew where those, you knew the Mad Ogre fight was going to be super fast, right? But I think that once you have the one crystal sword Zeus Gauntlet swinging, going beyond that is, I mean, it's greedy. It's greedy. But you already have all the strength you need to beat the game handily.
And it looks like Rybon is committed to this being his party. He sold everything.
It's a good team. Hard to fault it. So I have no problems with it. Again, I might want one more source of Zerg, but you know, Pocket Swine will be for sale. It's not going to be in those 10% of items that don't show up, right? Right.
I'd be very upset. Bacchus wine is definitely my favorite utility item in the game.
Oh yeah, it's so yeah, with good reason. Like it's one of the few that you almost nearly always have a use for. Like if you're only fighting, boss bit enemies for the rest of the seed, hourglasses don't do a lot for you. Bacchus wine. I'm trying to like the one time that you don't really want it is against a demist or a CPU or certain Ruby fights. Otherwise, like it's hard to ever say no. I'm not going to use that Bacchus one.
And Scorch almost having a little bit of an issue, but thankfully that Edge woke himself back up and didn't decide to cause violence on the rest of the party.
Yep. And Scorch pulling that crystal sword for his Cecil as well. So equalizing with Rybon on that front. John not having that particular tool in the kit. Lightning 3 from Tella doing quad 9s. Beautiful.
You love to see it.
So, okay, we know that Dark Knight Cecil got one runner. How many of our 4 do you think DKC is going to knock down? I think he's going to get Rybon once too. I think he's going to get everyone once.
I don't know. Rybon might be through this already. I do foresee...
Oh, all those bonus levels. You're right.
Scorch as well, because Scorch already has Quake on that Palom, so Sid has lots of HP.
Yep. Rybon making it through 100 HP to spare. Very nicely done. Got the Cure 2 off in time. So that alone, that plus the Crystal Sword, I think it may look like John's in the lead here, but I think overall Rybon has the advantage on the restream right now, both by not taking that wipe and by having that sword.
Well, and more things that you would like a Thunderclaw for, that was a Leviathan at top of tower.
Ooh. That's not very low spell power, so the Ice 2s won't really be an issue. The main question I think our runners have to answer is, do I go there without the tower key and, kind of try to make a fancy play, or do we just, live our life?
Seeing as how the tower key is required, that's a hard sell. Of course, it could be exactly the tower key at the top of tower.
True. Now, is Rybon going to get the kill here before the Zantetsuken comes out?
No.
Does not, but... Whew. Skin of his teeth again. 20 HP left over on that Zerking Crystal Sword Cecil. Should get it home before the next Odin swing.
Well, especially if Cecil's going to be doing 4,300 a swing.
Yep, and we do find the required Baron Key at the Rat Tail chest here in Feymarch. Checking your freebies, going over rather nicely for John here.
Unfortunately, no Bacchus for sale. That's a lot of rune rings.
Yeah, Dwarf Castle Kid comes with 10. We saw it especially back in the Lally-Ho League tournament. Starting with that kit, it's early financing, it's early mage resistance, 10 rune rings. They're very handy.
That was over a year ago. I can't remember what I did 20 minutes ago.
I think you may have been commentating the Monday night Free Enterprise community race.
Possibly.
We see a Lunar Sparkle at the Asura fight. That's Wyvern. We got Witchburn on. Might not be so bad. Might be able to handle this fight now. And a Purple Robe. If this is Mylon Z, the Crystal Swords we have will take that fight down in 4 swings. I mean, not the one John has, but the one that Rybon and Scorch have.
And Professor Renderer also saying, hey, Cecils are good, let's keep 2, but does throw away the ninja.
I mean, it's T Wildish. If it were pardon me. Yeah, it's T Wildish. Like you just kind of expect that you're gonna find good enough gear for the lads. Although we definitely have no shortage of things to yeet either.
But let's see what this wyvern is. Well, that's actually exceptionally rude.
Well, John went in there at bottomed out HP, just wanting to know what the situation was. You know, that wasn't a sincere attempt at the fight, so it's fine. That's just knowledge for later. What are we looking at? Just so we can come in adequately prepared.
Yeah, it was just rude for that exact situation. Had the party been at full HP, would have been fine.
That's true. That's true. It was like, oh, you have 5 combined HP. I will use my weakest power to destroy you. Wahahaha.
And Rybon's saying levels are good, so let's get some levels and possibly just clear out the Fame Arch entirely.
Yeah, you know, people say 20 Sirens in a Dream. I think Rybon had 15 to start here. Crystal Sword Cecil going to tear through these fights. And the team will have 0 threats standing in front of it going forward.
And looks like Scorch going to get through this Dark Knight Cecil with 19 HP to spare.
All right. The big HP pools from hunting down the trap just paying off for Rybon and Scorch. Well done, well done. I should have had more faith. The Dark Knight Cecil at this spot is such a rude fight. So, but our runners tonight coming through it nice and clean, no problems.
And John Burkhead gonna show us Bacchus? Bacchus? I hope there's Bacchus.
Not in that one. That just leaves Dwarf Castle and the Hummingway shop, but we don't have a Darkness Crystal.
And let's see, a retail store associate? I think that's what that said.
Sure. That sounds good. Good job.
And unfortunately, Professor Render having a little bit of a problem there. Looked like a possible accidental reset, but gonna try that antlion again. Has the knowledge of what's there, which knowledge is half the battle.
Wonder if that'll make him change up his party comp at all. Decide to go with a different crew here, just to make the that one particular fight a little more manageable. We'll know soon. Scorch, meanwhile, taking on that Odin fight. Now, we do have a Crystal Sword on Scorch's Cecil as well.
I do know that... Yeah.
Sorry.
I do know that he bought a fire armor because did not have anything other than crystal armor, and Berserk is just too good.
Although now it is down to only Cecil. Takes 1 damage from the normal attacks on Odin, but that's 2 swings without any attacks from Cecil. It's looking very dangerous for Scorch. This is where the agility, you know, we were talking about, can really come into play.
Bacchus!
Dranks!
That would be the point in the seed where I would sell everything and buy like 30 Bacchus.
And Rybon here didn't do a grind all the way to the final levels, but definitely has more than enough strength or anything here in the underground. And is going to actually go ahead and peek this sealed cave option. Hasn't gotten that Baron key yet.
Not a bad idea. If you find the pan, if you find the tower key, if you find out it's nothing and know that you don't ever have to worry about it again.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of if they're... The worst item to get here is probably Rat Tail, because pretty much every other item you either know you have to keep or know you can ditch. Rat Tail's the primary one here that, yeah, you don't really know is the Schrodinger item of the sealed cave. Close, close. That one you can reset out of, though.
Yeah, Pink Tail, while it'll be a nice item, we already have one crystal sword.
We have one crystal sword, yes, but what about second crystal sword?
But is it worth fighting a boss for?
No, it's not. Definitely not fighting the boss, not even walking out. Even if there was no boss there, if this were push B to jump, and you could jump over that spot, and even use some of those wall shortcuts on the way back out, no, wouldn't be worth it. You're good to go.
What is worth it is 30 Bacchus wines.
I mean, this is a thirsty team. You got your Sid, you got your double Cecil. Yeah, it's party time.
Slap the Artemis bow on Rosa. You've got a Rosa.
This is kind of a very fun option for a Quint Zerking team as a This is definitely one of those teams that could handle it and win, and you not have to worry about it too badly.
And we've got Rybon here in Dwarf Castle, whereas John Burkhead following his objectives and taking on this Baron Castle.
Oh yeah, found that Baron key, knows it's required. On the other hand, though, if a fight in Feymarch holds another one of these important items, if it has, the Adamant or the Tower Key, Rybon's going to be in prime shape to full clear that on his first visit.
Well, go away. Nobody wants you, Edward.
Poor Eddie. And here's one of those fights where it is very good to have saved the Black Mage for the team. Not that any of these have that much HP. You could probably just zerk your way through and get them before they form. Even if they form the big doll, Crystal Sword Cecil doesn't care. But one Stardust Rod or one dose of Quake and also solves this in much quicker fashion.
Now, that Cecil would care if he gets glanced and has words with the team.
True.
But one Quake takes out the dolls. There's the spooky hand.
Meanwhile, John has taken down the Plague fight via This Is Real Smooth. Kamikaze to skip the crumble animation that happens at the Fiend locations. So, saving quite a few seconds of time in exchange for sacrificing the XP on that Cecil. Rydia here, I know you love her, chat, but this team, with this stack of wine, with these levels...
Ooh, that is fancy.
The good thing about that, the best thing about that for Rybon, is it lets him, in the Zeromus fight or in other long-form fights, lets him swap from Crystal Sword to Avenger, and then equip the Crystal Sword on the second Cecil. With 30 Bacchus wine, you don't really need it for its zerking purposes, but you love it for the sake of effectively giving you a second Crystal Sword. That's great for Rybon.
And John Burkhead finding that rat tail and completing another objective. So that is 2 objectives on the board.
And, the funny thing is, we talked about how Rybon will be able to take down these Feymarch fights on his first visit, but that's not always a good thing. If they're both trash, then, if the rewards are bad for both of them, then your grind kind of betrays you a little bit. It baits you into spending extra time here that a low-level opponent would not bother with.
And we do see Professor Renderer taking on these mad ogres. Second Crystal Sword?
Maybe. Wanting a few more levels here, can't blame him at all. Scorch has been bouncing off this Odin fight for a while. He's feeling the pain that a Sea Hero can sometimes bring to a seed.
just throw all the defense swords you picked up.
Now, one thing I like here is Scorch's use of Blink to make sure Sid survives these first few hits and stays standing. That way, Sid is alive to actually cure up the Cecil after the first Antetsuken. So, very good adaptation by Scorch. Popping that elixir, Cecil now should be able to survive a second Antetsuken, and I believe will bring this home with those crystal sword swings.
And John Burkhead going to go ahead, check here in the basement. Baigen has been sent to the basement as punishment for being evil.
Go to your room. But huge shout outs to Scorch here. Does get through that Odin fight that time. Very nice looking at what the problems were in the fight, adapting, breaking out the blink to make sure he had the extra survivor after the first Odin swing. Great job adapting to that fight and getting through it by Scorch. You'll love to see it.
Professor Render finding an Avenger. It's not a crystal sword, but if you don't do Dwarf Castle, I mean,
Ooh, that's a big deal. So Raibon with the Adamant Rock can now, at his leisure, light up number 4. But the best part about that is it's Sid's Supersmith pull. I'm very excited to see what we're going to get from there in a minute.
And feeling completely confident to go ahead and take out this Mylon and gas, doesn't even save. The ghasts are about to have a really bad time.
Yeah, the only thing in this fight that can do any appreciable damage to Raibon is Mylon's occasional punches after the ghasts are dead. With this HP pull, with the Rosa, the lightning ones are nothing to worry about. And chat, here's another great optimization for when you're racing. Raibon has lots of characters who could be doing damage here, but they're not. Because every one of those lightning 1 counters eats up precious seconds when you're in a race, and no one is going to be doing as much damage here as that Crystal Sword Cecil.
Unfortunately, Professor Render does get hit by the Dark Knight Cecil, but does have the knowledge of what's there now. Should be able to then kind of adjust, start throwing out cure potions.
And a Dragoon Lance from the other fight. Decent XP for the team. Didn't take too long. You single dipped Fey March. You got 2 required items here. Raibon has to feel good about that.
And only leaving, probably going to go ahead and, I would assume, check Sheila 1. So going to get that Yang check, but is going to go ahead and forge.
Notably here as well, if John doesn't pull anything from this Baigen fight, I think here, with our 10,000-foot view of the arena, we know progression is through Keyless Tower. John has the last unchecked thing, I think, right?
No, I don't think anyone's checked Sheila 1 yet.
Well, there you go. And also, there you go.
That looks required.
So, Gigantax. I think at this point, if Kane's on the moon, I think I would ditch Palom for him. Just to be able to do Crystal Sword, Avenger Crystal Sword, Gigantax. Sid, you're great, buddy, but you're an anchor this time. That's a very nice weapon for a wide array of characters.
But how about some apples?
Raibon has all these sirens, but with a few more apples, there's no need to grind anyone on this team. You don't need Nuke. You really, really don't need Nuke on that Palom to beat this seed.
Well, and he sold the sirens to buy apples.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Now, there's something very dangerous for John, though. Oh, well, the good news for John is it looks like he's going to get that Crystal Sword. The bad news is he got the Darkness Crystal before he cleared Fey March. You have to worry that he's going to go full or clear moon while that Adamant Rock is still sitting back down here the entire time.
especially if you find a pass up on the moon early, you're not gonna come back down.
And Rybon here electing to just put the axe directly on the other Cecil. No problems there. You can, of course, do the Avenger glitch, but this way you don't have to worry about swapping gear back and forth each fight, and your two heaviest hitters are set up to go round after round after round with whatever enemies are in the way.
And with 30 Bacchus wines, you don't have to worry about trying to zerk them up.
So here we go. Renderer's fight. Odin does take a swing here and has 3 attackers still standing, but that Cecil does not have a crystal sword. So a little more dubious, a little more dangerous here for Professor Renderer compared to the other 3 runners. Notably, John didn't have a crystal sword either, but still managed to get through it. Rybon and Scorch had that lovely, lovely weapon for Cecil.
Yep, unfortunately, it does take the wipe, but kind of has an idea of what the fight's going to look like, and might have another strategy. Did pick up that Tela at the end, maybe thinking, oh, hey, I can... Oh, no, but didn't save after Dark Knight Cecil.
Well, he knows what's there, though, so should be able to manage it, just like he did before. Chat asking about the Gigant Axe. It doesn't have any elements or strength versus racial subtypes. It can inflict poison, and it gives plus 15 strength. But yeah, not even as good as I would say probably the. I would say it's not quite as good as the Crystal Sword, which has the same base attack power, better stats, better accuracy, etc. But it's still a lovely, lovely weapon for either a Cid or a Cain.
And Rybon also pulling off that kamikaze kill, saving that crumble time.
I love to see it. 2 different runners on Restream, both using, just this extremely slight niche tech to save a few seconds.
And using different characters, too. Rybon using his Rosa. But we'll see if he opts to also take the Baigen in the basement.
I mean, Rybon's only 2 choices are, hey, there's that crystal sword for John, equalizing on that front. Yeah, Rybon now, he peaked Sealed Cave, he's already done Dwarf Castle. He knows it's either this basement or Keyless Tower, and with the tower key as a required item, I think you're always doing the basement first. Well, you're probably doing the rat tail first, but
You can't use the apples if the person is knocked out.
I have trouble eating apples when I'm conscious, so. Especially when they're made of silver. Ow, 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 my teeth, ow.
But Rybon got to go figure out, where'd I park that other airship?
Dude, where's my hovercraft? Where's my hovercraft, dude? Dude, what's mine say? Sweet.
That is a very specific reference that I haven't heard in years.
Showing the age.
But getting the 5th defense sword of the seed with that rat tail.
Yep, but left the save right in front of Baron Castle, knowing that if that was junk, it could immediately come back here and run down to the basement. No, John had not yet done the Sheila 1 check. Pardon me. I knew he'd queued up Sylph Cave earlier. Only a samurai bow. Big ol' zonk there.
Yeah, which means I think progression is either through that Keyless Tower or through this Darkness Crystal.
Yeah, so Rybon will know I either run the risk of double dipping or I have the entire moon at my disposal. I'm a big fan of Keyless Tower just because kind of like Sealed Cave. You can get the item and then decide if you're going to walk back. You do have to fight the Leviathan first, but with Rybon's team, that fight is negligible at best.
Well, and if you do have to reset out of it, this party's already ready for Zeromus, so it's not like you're worried about losing levels.
True. But this is what I was worried about. So John Burkhead is launching the well. We know that Adamant Rock is back through that Wyvern. Gonna be hard pressed for him to like, maybe if you find the tower key up on the moon, you go ahead and come back and say, all right, I'm ditching the moon. I'm gonna do my Tower of Babel and my Fey March. But this very dangerous, very dangerous. Oh, and we're getting a character swap. Who are you adding to the team? More Cecil. I like it.
Second Cecil seems good. You could have your cover Cecil and your Crystal Sword Cecil. But Scorch also checking out here in the basement, gonna pick up his Darkness Crystal. Also hasn't done the Fey March though, so gonna be faced with that same choice as John Burkhead.
So notably, no one's finished yet. I think that we can use our metagaming powers to say that if someone finishes now in the next 5 minutes, it means it was a vanilla tower key. Willing to guess that outright.
And Professor Render getting through that Odin fight, GG to him. Odin there is one of those bosses that just is not fun if you don't have a Yang with a Thunderclaw and a lot of levels.
Yeah, it's a rude fight. Its one saving grace is that, with just a few extra levels, your heavy HP characters can survive the Odin swings. But the agility manipulation there, the fact that the normal hits do pretty decent damage, very tricky fight. Glad to see all 4 of our runners on Restream tonight have made it through.
And Rybon opting to head to Cave Value first. Hoping probably to see something fairly easy to get through with a Crystal Sword.
Yeah. I like this. Not as much as I like Keyless Tower, but I still like it. You have no pass. So there's really something to be said here for doing this and the Murasame altar, the Pale Dim spot first, just so that you don't have to walk the moon twice if you can help it.
Well, and not even checking to see who the boss is, just says, oh, well. This isn't concerning at all. And who is up here on the moon?
That's a Fu. He's a pretty good character.
I mean, he's better than Pella.
Yeah, but is he better than anyone on this team in particular? John's swapping the Rosa out for him. I mean, you get the utility this way. We've not seen, correct me if I'm wrong, we've not seen Dark Imps, or we saw Kaipo guards, and we see Baron guards.
Yes, Baron guards are in the waterfall.
Oh, they were the ones that we saw in the waterfall. Okay, well, never mind. I was trying to figure out the number of remaining bosses that we could insta-kill via stone cast or quickly kill, using weak, etc. Because he does give us that utility, but he's not quite as fast as Rosa is in the long run. And you do have to, as we see here, take the time to do the re-equipping. Menu time is subtle. You don't necessarily realize it in the thick of things, but it can cost you multiple minutes over the course of a race.
I do appreciate that I think all of our characters have white or silver hair now on John Burkhead's team.
Yeah. And just a quick recap, Rybon did get a Sand Ruby from that King-Queen Evelyn fight, reset out, does not care. Again, like we said, Rybon's team's Aroma's ready. Even getting up to double XP does not matter for him right now.
Does say, Palom, this is no place for children. We're going to take an old man instead.
Yeah. That replacement makes a lot more sense to me, just because, well, you know, ta-da, you have Nuke, and you have more HP, and you have additional sources of Zerk and Cure 4. Swapping out the Black Mage for Fu makes a lot more sense than swapping out the White Mage, for my money.
Now, I don't know what John Burkhead's levels are, so he may say, well, Fu already knows Cure 4, and if I find this pass, or not pass, if I find my missing items very early, I go straight to Zeromas, don't have to worry about leveling up that Rosa.
True. Because, you know, the Cecils with the Crystal Swords, you don't need a whole lot of levels. And we do see a Pink Puff summon here on John's part, doing it for the fans.
These have
hard around.
these have more health than you think they do.
Yeah, this is... I can't say this is a strategic play. This is more shout-outs to the Pink Puff community. But one thing I am curious about, neither runner bothered with that Murasame altar, both running on down to the basement first.
I do like to go to the basement just because it's so much denser of key items. So, yeah, they're angry Pink Puffs.
They are
Today I learned.
Yeah, is John still wearing that crystal armor? If so, that makes the Cecil immune to Berserk, and thus can throw those at his convenience. But that Cecil does have a lot of HP left, and down goes that one. Angry Flans. Angry Flans.
As somebody who has tried this exact grind and run into trouble, I feel this in my heart.
Who would win? 4 Flan Princesses or 1 edgy ninja? And I think the 4 Flan Princess. Get that one by split decision. Rybon, meanwhile, finding Pale Dim down here. Yeah, he's gonna hit the dragon a whole bunch. The dragon's gonna throw clocks at him. Get your Coldplay albums out from 2003, and this fight will be over soon.
Is that the one with yellow card?
I mean, I was just referencing clocks. I don't even know what yellow card is. I'm not actually like I don't actually have like any kind of extensive Coldplay knowledge. I would say I'm sad to say that, but I'm not sad to say that.
I remember one song of theirs, and it annoyed me, so I never listened to them again.
We find 2 more key items here. Hooray! That gets Rybon to 10 anyway. Not that we needed either of those, but sure, why not?
And John Burkhead says, round 2, let's fight.
Ruby at the plague spot. I don't think these fire 2 counters are going to be that threatening. Let's see if Rybon has enough DPS to kill before the first glare comes out.
And we see Professor Renderer actually making the correct choice, taking on this Wyvern, and is getting a little bullied, but if he can get through, gonna go ahead and pick up that Adamant.
Yeah, the thing about this fight is that as long as you can get past the opening Mega Nuke, and as long as your team can keep up the speed, you can win through pure attrition. it does single target reflected nukes, so only one character can die at a time. So you got a full party and enough life potions, you can usually get through here.
And Rybon finding the pass, taking out that ruby, unfortunately not before the first glare, but Cecil just shrugged it off.
And of course, finding the pass here is a sigh of relief. You know you don't have to walk the moon a second time. I mean, if most people in the race are doing it, it's fine. It's more an annoyance than an actual, threatening time loss. But still, nice little sigh of relief.
And Scorch did get the Darkness Crystal, but looks like wants to clear up the underground first. This is Dwarf Castle Spot 1, so hopefully going to take on this Wyvern as well.
And Renderer does take a reset there. Let's see if he goes back. We know the goodies that await him if he does.
And that's a turtle in a place that you never wanted to see the turtle.
With this amount of DPS and this amount of HP, could be worse. The punch is nasty. The wave is HP based, so at least you know it gets progressively weaker. Unlike if this were an actual, spell powered multi-target attack. Those Cecils are angy.
I don't think. What is this gonna do? Nothing.
Not even.
Yeah, this is not gonna get a second wave off.
Not even queuing up a heal. Not a care in the world with this amount of DPS. There we go. More levels, more levels, more levels.
Only a cat claw.
We're getting closer and closer to a vanilla tower key. We have Wyvern Altar, the vanilla crystal sword spot, and the vanilla Pale Dim Murasame location left. And then well, okay, Pan is still hanging as well. It could be something like Pan at Leviathan into Tower Key at either Sylphs or Sheila 2, and that would also be a hilarious little chain for everyone to have to chase.
Well, and we still have music outstanding, so let's get a harp in here too.
Ooh, I like it. Oh, I mean the Leviathan fight at the Dr. Luge spot. Just to clarify.
This karate is about to... Does it matter what Cecil you smack him with?
Nope. Any Cecil's good. Ouch, that hurt. Ow. Scorch with the keyless tower play. Let's go, Scorch. Let's go. Uh-oh. Never mind.
That's required. And that means no music.
Yeah, no harp, no pan, no spoon. Well, I mean, we could get them as rewards from these. But Rybon is in go mode. Just has to fly back to the blue planet, take down the super cannon room, and then take that past to Z. So we are in the home stretch, folks.
And John Burkhead finding this Rubicant, gonna go ahead and probably very quickly handle it as well. Throwing out nukes, which you don't have to worry about timing any ice threes with legs and cloaks, and nobody's got time for that, just microwave it.
I'm a little worried for Scorch now, because of course if this is a pan or a twin harp, that can send you rabbit holing pretty darn hard here. For his sake, kind of hope that it's just a completely worthless item and that it's the tower key gating all the remaining key items in the scene.
Absolutely. Just something like a spoon would be great. Because then you can throw it.
Or you can eat ice cream. What's the last ice cream you had, Allie?
First of all, that's hilarious. And second of all, it's these vegan creamsicles that my husband bought. They're terrible.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, hey, you don't even need a spoon for those, I suppose. I was hoping that answer had updated since we last reviewed it. Since we're going to be here for a while with the Alt Gauntlet chat. Ooh, do Pink Puffs taste like bubblegum flavored ice cream? If so, like, oh.
Or cotton candy.
Cotton candy's not a bad option. Ooh, mint chocolate chip. You know, a lot of people are like anti-mint chocolate combination. I think it's delightful. I've ever since I was a young lad, I've liked, the York peppermint patties, the Andes, all those things. I think chocolate and mint work fine.
I did have a milkshake today. I forgot about that.
Oh, that count. Oh no, that's terrible for Scorch. That's very unfortunate. That is the pan. That's rabbit hole. That's rabbit hole right there.
Well, with any luck, the Sylphs will give a Drain Spear, and Sheila 2 will give, I don't know, what do we have left? Package? Have we found the package? Yeah, we found the package.
Yeah.
I don't know, something useless.
Yeah. Another defense sword. Good call. Good call, Chad. Yeah, I had some strawberry Haagen-Dazs the other week. That was pretty good. But I've been feeling my pistachio itch. I gotta get me some pistachio gelato soon.
Nah, I really wanted to go get, like, just a vanilla cone.
Well, I mean, if you've been eating vegan creamsicles, then I understand the craving to get back to classics.
It's very hard to drive with an ice cream cone. I've learned that over the years. Unfortunately, looks like Professor Renderer did orphan that wyvern, did not go back.
Well, he's not left the blue planet yet. You could always, get a few more levels, get the team a little stronger, and then go back and not fully orphan that spot.
But Rybon has finally taken out the Alt Gauntlet, which I think is probably the funniest place it could have been.
Oh yeah. Like, you think you're gonna be wrapping this seat up in like 5 minutes? Like, no, 7 minutes. Ha ha ha. And there's the crystal. We will still be seeing one more key item here, though, in a moment. And I was looking at I was dazed by the swirling lights on Rybon's screen. What did the Sylphs give there? Oh, spoon. Thank you, chat.
Spoon's a good start. Let's get a defense sword. Let's have 2 defense swords from Sheila.
Yeah, the first one was a defense. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But then you have to ask, what was Sheila before she became Yong's wife?
I mean, probably mostly the same as she is now.
Oh, Fiery Blizzard correcting me. It was a samurai bow.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Oh no.
Oh no.
I mean, great for us. We're probably gonna get harp music out of it. But that is the last rabbit hole of the seed, and Scorch is gonna probably be chasing it. So, keyless tower play, as much as I love it, heavily punishing this seed. Heavily punishing. Oh, and there's no audio on Scorch. Oh wow. Dang.
Well, I think there is something that we're supposed to start doing.
I'm still crying over the lack of twin harp. You have to give me a moment. All right. Yeah. There's a final boss of this game tonight. It's not O-Win game, it's O-Win crystal. What are we gonna do with that crystal?
we're going to show its true form.
Oh, by the light of the crystal. We'll find out that it's actually Old Man Withers who runs the haunted amusement park. Wait. Now that's even older than the last movie reference I did. That's for the real people pushing 40 in the chat. Anyway, final boss, not randomized. It's always Zeromus. Zeromus always has the same script. What changes? The appearance. It looks one way, it looks another way. There's so many sprites in the pool. Skull Kitty doing an amazing job time and time again. You love to see it. And there's a question that everyone loves to ask as well. Allie?
Is the butt wearing a hat?
Seems a weird place to wear a hat.
But no, we like to see whose butt are we going to kick tonight? I forgot the question. I think at this point there's something like 430 butts that we could kick.
There's more than that. It's been higher than 444 for a while. I think it may be like 500 plus now.
Or maybe it's 524. I don't know.
Okay. That sounds like a far more reasonable number.
Hashtag no math.
Yeah. Like, I remember like a year ago, I think it had just passed the 444, so. Aw.
Gold star for everyone in the chat.
So, I would say that is a cute butt. It's not wearing a hat. It does not have a butt. And it's gonna have a real bad time.
How many Big Bangs do you think? One? I'm gonna go with one.
Just the first one. There's no way there's a second Big Bang.
Oh no.
Oh no. Well, I guess the good news regarding not having sound on Scorch's stream is that Golbez hates Twin Harp and interrupts the music partway through. For what it's worth, though, we did submit the feedback and ideas recently to change that to where I believe, like, specifically requested that Golbez and Dark Elf do not change the music anymore. So hopefully, in a future version of Free Enterprise, we will get Twin Harp music uninterrupted through the entire Cave Magnus sequence.
That would be wonderful. I thought feedback was and ideas was only for playable Golbez. But we see big numbers coming out. We see John Burkhead gonna find out the great news about our friends, the Alt Gauntlet.
All right, one does throw out a nuke here. We did see a second shake. Wants to make sure the next Big Bang is nerfed if there is one. So it looks like we are getting a second one. But very well timed. Rosa shrugging off all but one roll of the nuke, not even caring about it. White shirt doing its work. And just a power shirt for Scorch at the end of this line. Knows the rabbit hole has been real. You did Keyless Tower, and it culminates in that. Just a little bit of, like flames on the side of your face right there.
I mean, if you were going to get junk, I guess a power shirt's the best junk you could have gotten.
But Rybon has finished with a time of 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 0 seconds. Second place overall, first on the restream. Got beaten by Morpheus, the reigning champ, by just about 2 minutes with a 1:23.59. GG's to both of them. Very well played tonight. GG's out in chat. And we'll see if Rybon wants to join us for an interview soon.
And while we wait for that, We do see, hold on. Oh no, John Burkhead has not done that Wyvern. Does not have the Adamant Rock, so might get sucked into the same rabbit hole as Scorch.
Hey, but then we might get Twin Heart music. But we are joined by Rybon, winner on Restream, second place overall. Very well played, start to finish, just excellent execution. GG's.
Hi, thank you.
I think the big question, it's T Wildish, great team, great characters, great gear, but I think the big thing that played a role in that seed was the party choice at the end of Tower of Zot, given the loot you had found and what you knew was on the hook route, that Odin waiting for you. What went through your head at that point? How did you decide on your party comp? What was your plan going forward at that pivotal moment in the seed?
Gee, I'm trying to think who is still in my party. I believe I dropped a Tela for a Cecil, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And
well,
you also did not take Edge. You went with a double Cecil setup.
Yep, so I did not have edge weapons at that point. Now, I did get a Moth Immune, completing Tower of Zot, which I was kicking myself a little bit for dropping that edge, but I committed to my bad decision. But I also figured it's T Wildish. I mean, there's probably a shiny sword waiting somewhere, probably in Evelyn Castle, and lo and behold, there was. I think there's like a 55% chance if you do all 3 trap chests to actually get a tier 8. And with Adamant Sauce in this particular flag set, that means a guaranteed X-Cal or Crystal Sword, and that's exactly what I got out of that second chest. And then I was kind of just hoping to find a second Cecil weapon. Sure, I had D10 swords and lightsabers and all that, which are nice, but they're not what we're looking for. Luckily, the Sea Hero Sid resulted in a Gigantax, which was perfectly fine for Cecil. Sid, you don't need that. You're the hero, but you can be the hero in the back row throwing potions, as far as I'm concerned. But still, finding a Murasame, finding a Masamune, that edge would have been useful. But I still kind of think that 2 Zerkers is enough, and I stand behind that, for this seed at least.
Gotcha. Allie, what did you see that you're curious about?
Did you have enough Bacchus?
I wish I could have bought more, but I was thinking maybe I might actually want to buy something from Coco Shop, so 30 will have to be enough for this particular time.
I got very excited because I had just said, this is when you sell everything and buy 30 Bacchus wines, and then you bought 30 Bacchus wines.
I promise I wasn't listening to the commentary, but I'm glad that you telepathic caused me to buy lots of liquor.
And anything that you thought about during that seed that really stood out to you that we've not covered? Just what struck you that stood out to make that seed unique, and or you feel like was a really good decision on your part?
I felt the entire time, I'm behind. Tower of Zot had nothing. It wasn't worth doing. I shouldn't have done it. But, and ultimately I didn't end up losing the possum, so yeah, I was behind. But otherwise, I felt like I had to make some kind of wild play. So I faded Sheila 1, I faded Top of Tower, both K main checks, dove the moon, and lo and behold, there was a pass, and there was a tower key. Luckily, bottom up was the play. I guess the Demarine Gambit was the actual play, but I didn't actually have the courage to actually make that play this particular seed. But yeah, I'm just glad the tower key was down there on that moon and not in a location that I faded back on Earth, because if that was the case, I'd still be playing right now and probably playing for another 20 minutes, I suppose. Yeah,
the nastiest rabbit hole we've seen is a keyless tower play gives the pan, which leads into Twin Harp and results in, nothing worthwhile. So the biggest rabbit hole of the seed, nicely dodged. GG's again.
Yeah, thanks. Better lucky than good.
Like, that play wasn't good. Come on. The chat saw how wonderfully executed that was start to finish. You don't get to be self-deprecating when you take second place overall, right behind the current tournament champion. Not allowed. You're good. Deal with it.
I mean, I'm from the Midwest. Self-deprecation is all we do here.
Weren't you in the top, 4?
Yeah, probably number 4 out of the top 4. So, the bottom of the top 4.
Ahem.
It's in my blood. What can I say?
Oh, hey, GG's again. Thanks for volunteering to be on Restream. Reminder, chat, make sure you follow all 4 of these Restream runners tonight. Uraibon, watching him is a great way to get better at the game if you're interested, and or just, enjoying watching more top-tier play. So make sure you hit those follow buttons, chat.
And thank you both Inv and Ali for the wonderful commentary that I'm sure, channeled me to buy 30 Bacchus wines, Fiery Blizzard for pressing all the buttons, doing the hardest job out of probably everyone on the Restream team with 4 racers, and S. Grunt for rolling this seed where I didn't get rabbit holed. I very much appreciate it. But yeah, I'm off. Y'all have a good night, and best of luck to the remaining racers.
Hey,
Thanks so much, and have a great night.
Meanwhile, off the Restream, we did have a 3rd place finisher, Tybalt, coming also in under the 90-minute mark. 3rd place with a 129.20. G's to Tybalt. Well done. And yeah, and John Burkhead first underground, but I love fading the Fey March as well. The fights are so annoying, especially if you've not done, a preliminary grind. We know Wyvern has that Adamant Rock. Once John gets to Sheila 2 and gets the Twin Harp, we'll see which way he decides to go with this. You can always metagame and think, did these other finishers really go through there and already do Twin Harp and all that? And maybe that'll lead him back to Fey March. Maybe he'll go and get us our first dose of Twin Harp music tonight with actual audio.
I mean, everybody loves Twin Harp.
And meanwhile, Scorch working his way through the moon. We know he'll find some value here eventually, and gonna get the pass and the tower key, both essential.
And I do believe we did see Scorch pick up a 2nd crystal sword.
Ooh, was that the reward from that Mylon Z at the Pale Dim spot?
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Only has the 1 Cecil though, so not going to be getting a whole lot of mileage out of it. The funny thing is that an X-Cal would be a little better for him, just because it is something that Edge can throw.
Yes, unfortunately, the game won't let you throw crystal swords. You can always feed them to a large chocobo, though.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so feedback and ideas. We need to get a Lufia 2 style friendly monster setup where the chocobo summon in the game gets stronger the more you feed the big chocobo powerful items. Like the combined attack power stored in the big chocobo is the power of the chocobo summon. Boom. Let's get it done.
So always feed the chocobo the spoon, then.
I mean, that's only 255, right? You gotta have more, gotta have more. Like, I mean, to actually get good damage out of it, like, you'd have to actually shove a lot of stuff into that chocobo storage. Stack of Drain Spears, yeah. Xenocat has one of the probably the most efficient mains. Combining it with the duplication glitch, ooh, that would be fun. Here, have a stack of 65,535 Drain Spears. Pay no mind to overflowing the damage numbers.
And we do see John Burkhead heading into Dwarf Castle.
This is, I think, a good thing. It means that, well, it means that he's not chasing the Twin Harp yet. Bad for us who want music. Good for John, just because it implies that he's going to stick to other underground checks first.
And Professor Render picking up his Twin Harp.
Looking back up, do you remember the number of entrants we had tonight in this race?
I do not.
don't want to interrupt the runners, so I'm gonna message the race bot and see what the
16.
details. Oh, 16. Okay, fine. 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 Just answer it. Just instantly.
Well, I mean, erase alerts is right there.
Oh. You have that channel unmuted? Okay, so 16 entrants. Only 3 finished. So kind of wondering, are the rabbit holes catching people? Did the Dark Knight Cecil Odin combination catch a lot of people? Some shockingly nasty things on this seed if you take a wrong turn.
Yeah, especially that Dark Knight Cecil into Odin isn't the worst. One of those you can get, but it's up there.
We see Professor Render doing a grind here. Tell us on the ground. I wonder if this is intentional, intending to get rid of them eventually, or if this may be a misunderstanding about C hero agility. Because of course, keeping Tella low and slow is not going to do you any favors, because Sid, it will always be your agility anchor on this particular flag set.
And John Burkhead finishing up here in Dwarf Castle. We'll see if he makes the play into, I think Luca is still outstanding, or if he goes back to the Fey March, which we know is the right path.
Yep. And sees those Bacchus wines for sale. Has a couple already, has an Avenger, so deciding which items to sell to get a few extra. There we go. That's a combined total 12 Bacchus wines. Scorch, meanwhile, dealing with the turtle fight down here at the Ogopogo altar. How bad are these waves right now? Kind of rough, but everyone's still standing except for Sid. Trying to get some Zerks going on here. John is going to be heading down Sealed Cave, going to find the pink tail at the bottom here, and we'll probably see a pretty quick reset after that.
Yeah, I doubt he would walk out with the pink tail, even though it is a key item, and does give a pretty nice piece of equipment. I think right now his team is Aromas ready, so really not a huge benefit there.
Yeah. Oh, and we have back-to-back finishes off stream for 4th and 5th place. Jbrun TR is coming 4th with a 139.44, and Microcorgs is coming 5th with a 139.49. Just less than 5 seconds apart. Very close finishes between we're gonna have these little bubbles of really close finishes tonight, I think, just as people took similar routes at different places. Renderer also going to give chase down here through the cave. John Burkhead getting the bad news. Your key item is in another chamber. Oh, do you have you got another save? Got another save? There we go. That's what we want to see.
I will do that every time.
I have no problem with the separate saves. The big, tiny optimization that I need to start doing is, because I'm always going to my next save point, I don't need my outdoors save point to be in slot 4, because then my save room save point is in slot 1, and I have to loop all the way back through the menu to load the earlier save. So that's what I have to be careful about these days.
Well, I did pick up cycling my saves from you.
You know, on a lot of seeds, it doesn't do you a whole lot, but, there are those rare occasions where all of a sudden, ones where, like, you need one item, and Sealed Cave has, like, a pan or a rat tail, and you're like, well, okay, I could fight a nasty boss here and walk it out, or I could just go do Keyless Tower, and you go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and hope.
Yeah, that sounds too much like work.
What's not a whole lot of work is ouch! Scorch getting the insta-kill.
And gonna pick up his tower key.
Yeah, that should send him running back to the blue planet, I would think. Still has to fight that wyvern at some point too, though.
At least with the tower key, you're still underground. So, hey, since you're down here, why not have to go through that cutscene and just do everything down here? And heading straight to that wyvern. Won't even need to do that Mylon and friends.
Yeah, 23,000 HP at this spot. Well, it undid 290 damage that edge did. Oh no. We got the nukes coming out. We're gonna see some Zerking going on, I bet. Yeah. This wyvern's gonna have a bad time. And we do see John doing the Crystal Sword swap with the Avenger to get both Cecils going with the big damage.
Well, and if, well, of course, John Burkhead has to forge, so we'll see if he puts the Gigant Axe on that Sid and just has 4 Zerkers go vroom on Zeromus, or does what Rybon did and puts it on one of the Cecils.
I kind of want to see, if John Burkhead still has that Artemis bow, I kind of want to see at least one Quint Zerk tonight. Come on, somebody. One Quint. One Quint. You fought the Pink Puffs, you don't want a Quint Zerk as well? Of course you do.
Yeah, Pink Puffs were angry, though.
That's true. That's true. They showed the power of angry Zerker noises, right? Right? Right?
I thought they showed the power of dance.
Oh, that's true. So you're saying that, oh god, what was the movie? Bring It On! I was gonna try to make a Bring It On reference, but I completely forgot the name of the movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. So you're gonna say they brought it on? There we go. All right. Hey, we have a 6th place finisher. RN Castro 86 is finished in 6th place with a 142.57. GG's to Castro. Well done.
All objectives are complete. John Burkhead is in go mode with most key items. I think he noped out of the pink tail and the what is that, a sand ruby?
Yeah, Sand Ruby was at the King Queen Upland fight in Cave Bahamut. You know, right over there on Scorch's screen.
So that's sort of like a 17 out of 17.
More or less.
Xenocat, you stop that. I think they made Bring It On into a... I think they made it into a Broadway show.
Wouldn't surprise me. It seems very well suited to the stage. Scorch is home from the moon. Gonna probably go target that tower key objective first. Question is, well, no, it's not really a question. I think the Adamant Rock is in. I think the only place Scorch hasn't been is back to the Feymarch fight, so probably won't take him too long to go knock those out. And Professor Render does find the Forge. Still no Darkness Crystal yet, so still has to get that tower key. And we do have a 7th place finisher. Gale Swift has come in 7th with a 145.45. GG's to Gale Swift. And John is off to give this Zeromus a very, very bad time.
I didn't see what he equipped on all his members. Are we going to get Vroom?
I mean, we'll find out pretty quickly here. I was likewise, yeah, paying attention to specific menuing equipment like that is something oft overlooked. But we should be able to tell by the damage his team is doing, and if he is doing the Avenger swap, we'll see it in very short order here, early in the fight.
And Scorch is going through all the fun things you can fight here in the tower. I don't know that Flame is going to have quite the effect he's hoping for.
I mean, maybe he sees these flame men. He's like, "Was it flame? I'll show you how. I've got that too."
Unfortunately, the Flame Men do not cast Life 1 if you cast Flame on them.
God dang. But yeah, we do see here the Avenger swap. We do have the axe on Sid. We have a spoon yeet from Edge, and then ooh, that was a. I don't think that was nerfed.
No. No, it wasn't.
Ow. So, we talked a bit about Sea Hero at the start and how if you don't have the vanilla agility flag along with it, your hero will be your anchor for the entire seed. And it can result in some scary, scary situations. And it looks like we may be seeing one here at this Aromas fight.
Hopefully we're putting out enough damage to skip the second Big Bang.
Yep.
I think we're putting out like 15,000 a round, so hopefully.
Yeah, if we skip the second Big Bang, we should be in good shape. John has enough elixirs here to get them all thrown out, to get the Cecils back up to snuff. But we really need to skip the second Big Bang and go right into stage 2 of the fight. And we're looking like we might be okay. I think that Cecil swinging means that we're good. Yeah, we're definitely good at this point. Did have an 8th place finisher in the meantime. Dipwood has finished with a 147.23, and Brickety Brick has come in 9th with a 149.32. GG's to both of them.
Isn't Brickety Brick John Burkhead?
Why does it say John Burkhead there and Brickety Brick over here? Well, sorry, Chad. I spoilered that John Burkhead finished that fight. Ah, my bad. My bad.
But is in 9th place. We are joined by Brickety Brick John Burkhead combo.
Is the
Place.
username a joke?
We
Because
are
people would
joined
misread
by
your name as John Brickhead instead of
Brickety
John
Brick
Burkhead?
John Burkhead.
That is exactly what it is. And every time people are like, they think they're the first person to ever do it too. They're like, hey, I don't know if you ever realize this, but I'm a little bit of a literary scholar myself, and it kind of looks like, yeah, it happens all the time. So as a kid, I hated it, and then as an adult, I just learned to kind of own it, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of a joke on that.
Well, for what's worth, you made me look like an idiot because I thought that was a different person in the race room finishing the race.
I'm sorry, dude.
And everyone's like, that is John. I'm like, oh, my bad. The that's what I get for a change, suddenly knowing how to read. But GG's, you got a little hosed there, admittedly, by Wyvern having the goods. You found the Darkness Crystal. You went Moon. Many a reasonable soul would have. Can't be helped. But I'm going to ask you one of the big questions I asked Ripon, which was, at the end of the Tower of Zot, you have Tella, Hallam, 2 Cecils, an Edge, a Rosa. Odin's down there on that hook route. What's the determining factor in how you're building your team there?
I mean, honestly, I forgot. I was looking for Magma Key. I forgot I even had the hook. This was not a good seed. I had my first day in my summer job, man. I was not on my game at all. You know, like I forgot once once I realized I had no other options, I was like, all right, we'll just go ahead and do it and get down there. With Tella not being able to anchor and there being a Stardust Rod, I knew the Lit 3 was going to do some work. I didn't think it would do quad 9s. But I figured I could go ahead and clog up the queue with some berserk, two sources of Berserk, and then just get enough damage done. What killed me was once I got underground, I was like, wait a minute, you have 2 Cecils and a T Wildish. Why did you not loot Evelyn? It's like, oh my god, there are going to be 2 Holy Swords in there. And so I was trying to find an efficient time, like, all right, maybe I'm not getting hurt too much by not having it, and trying to go ahead and pick my spots. And then I finally went back. I was like, oh my god. And then when I saw the Avenger in Dwarf, I was like, oh, Berkhead. Oh, buddy. Way to tank it. So I wasn't too worried about Odin in that spot, but when I realized that I had not looked for a Holy Sword in Evelyn, that's when it hurt. And that's when I decided to try to be funny and get some pink puffs in, but that was a disaster twice. Because once I saw the Crystal Sword, I was like, all right, John, you're losing by 20 minutes, so let's just try to have some fun. And then the pink puffs had the fun, and not me. So it was a comedy of errors on Restream, to say the least.
Well, for what it's worth, I think your going down the hook route was fantastic. The way you adjusted to manage the DKC fight was great. The way you handled the Odin fight, even, didn't have the Crystal Sword, but that means pulling it off was even more impressive. So I think you did fine. I think you did fine. I think the Wyvern holding your adamant was the only real problem you had to deal with that scene.
Yeah, and I went back to see, because I force quit it out too soon, and I was like, wait, you didn't even see what it was, and knowing that it was drained, it's like, all right, I don't have to worry about Star Veils, I can just go ahead and try to, get my Berserk up, or, if it's a nuker or what have you. But I just figured, I can't do it now, I'll go ahead and do it later, and I faded the Fey March, and that was a mistake.
Oh, and if you give us one moment, we are getting our first dose of music this entire restream, so I'm sure chat would like us to just pause for just 1 minute if you can hold on.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, I think we've hit the loop.
Got it.
Yeah, I didn't realize that one had been. I was surprised that wasn't already in there. Shoutouts to Xenocat for adding the Serpent Trench, another classic song from, Final Fantasy IV may be my favorite Final Fantasy, but I think FF6 is my favorite Final Fantasy soundtrack. So love to have more of those in the heart pool.
Absolutely.
But Allie, you ask questions.
So, as somebody who has thought, I'm going to try and kill some pink puffs, they have a lot more health than you think they should, don't they?
It's not the health, it's their attack power. I'm always, I lurk a lot of channels and I watch a lot of channels. I watch a lot of Awesome, and like yesterday or the day before, I learned about how to go ahead and use the Avenger to get a quick nerf with the crystal. I didn't know that was a thing. Every day I learned something new. And as a kid, my brother and I relentlessly tried to get the pink tail, and we never got it. And we just went in that room over and over and over and over again. It never happened. But when I did that, we were already at level like 99. So the memory of them hitting hard didn't really exist because that party was already maxed out. So today I learned. We had a very public learning opportunity of how hard they hit.
Yeah, they are very angry. They also, even if you have an adamant armor, they hit very, very hard.
I was really hoping for an hourglass in the moonshot, but it obviously wasn't there. So, yeah, that happened.
But, yeah, I wiped to him and lost 15 minutes, so I feel that.
We'll have to start a club. We'll get some pink lady Grease style jackets, like a rip on the back. It'll be good. It'll be fine. I got a whole thing. We'll do it.
I'm there for it.
Excellent.
But yeah, any other just final thoughts about that seed, about the flag set in general?
It's a fun flag set for sure. Sid early game is great. Maybe not so much on C Neki, but he's wonderful, and his Super Smith is just glorious. Whether it's the Flare Hammer or the Gigant. I was prepared to go ahead and give the Gigant to Cecil if I hadn't found a better weapon. But obviously with the Avenger, I could go ahead and double up the Crystal Swords. Got a little reckless on the Z fight, but it was a learning opportunity. I have yet to put together a seed where, like, from start to finish, I'm like, all right, good. You know what I'm saying? Like no major mistakes. But every time I do this, I get a little bit closer, hopefully. So thank you so much for doing comms with you two. I'm sure it was amazing. Esperon's been doing a lot of restream lately, so thank you so much. I apologize, I don't know who's doing tracking, but with 4 people, I'm sure it was busy. And thanks for having me on restream. It's always fun.
Yep. Always a pleasure to just get to see all these great runners, and I'm sure you're getting closer and closer. I'm sure you're going to be putting out a great showing.
I hope so.
But yeah, anything else, Inbet?
No, just GG's, and yeah, have a great night.
You too. Take care.
In the meantime, we did have a couple more finishers off stream. Scythe Marshall came in 10th with a 151.16, and Commander Leonhardt came in 11th with a 155.23.
GG's to them.
And Scorch, meanwhile, has procured that adamant rock that will put him in go mode. Has to make a detour by Kakol's shop, but that's the last key item that he has to actually find out in the wild. And Professor Renderer is on the moon now, already has the adamant rock. I think the only, pardon me, Rybon had the adamant rock before going moon. Renderer also going to be in that same boat, only has to find a tower key and knows he'll be ready to rock.
We'll see if he goes top up or top down, bottom up, or goes for the Demarine strat.
Good strats, good strats.
But we'll see if Scorch decides if there's anything worth buying, like apples, because there really wasn't anything else in that shop that was worth anything.
Yeah, Glass Helmet, not going to do you anything at the Z fight. It only gives physical defense, not magical. White Lance, if you have an edge, I guess it's an extra yeetable if you need to yeet more. And apples are good. And what was the other thing? Protect Wings, I think? Maybe? It's been a while.
Yeah, it wasn't anything worth writing home about. Can you use a shield?
I think it's two-handed, but Scorch is going to let Sid come out and play.
Do you got to keep them separated?
Oh no. How many negative years old was Xenocat when that song was released?
But ready to go. Gonna put that crystal sword on that Cecil, and likely just going to tear through this Zeromus. Looks like Professor Renderer is starting at the bottom. Again, this is the densest bit of key items.
Yep. The although it doesn't start at the room with 2, this being the Plague Altar, just the 1 item here.
does have 10 key items already, but could definitely use a little bit more health and experience on his Rosa there.
Here we go. Scorch entering that Zeromus fight. Very balanced party. Do have a couple of other finishers kind of sneaking in though. E-Ninja81 has come in 12th with 2 hours and 40 seconds. And Warlink has come in 13th with 2:02:17. GG's to those runners as well. You see a Crystal Sword being swapped for the Avenger here. Not going to have to re-queue up Zerk on that Cecil in the event of a black hole. With this DPS, it's kind of interesting, what kind of timings would result in that actually popping out, and actually having to see one of those. Of course, Sid has that Gigant Axe equipped. But waiting patiently to try to get a nerf here, but the Big Bang coming out instantly there, anchoring real awkward here for the agility on Scorch's team.
Does throw out a Cure 4. Hopefully that nuke hitting somebody with more than... Yeah, that was probably the best option.
I think that was the one character on this team who would have survived that without some extremely fortunate evade rolls. So looking good now. Probably wants to get more Zerking going here, of course, just to clog that queue, get the damage going. But, with 6,000 to 7,000 damage a hit from the Cecil, should be in good shape as soon as the team really gets rolling here.
Does throw a Star Veil up. Might want to try and throw some damage via some whites or nukes.
Love to see a roll for over 7,500 from that Cecil. That's great.
And yeah, this Zeromus, this tribe mess is not going to last too long, although there is the second Big Bang. Is a little scary.
Yeah, definitely has a ton of HP though, and luckily got good evade rolls on the Rosa and the Fu. Both of them surviving this without any trouble. And looks to be going for power overwhelming here instead of trying to heal the team. I don't hate it. You've got a lot of damage here, and if you can push all the way to Meteo, Cecil can very easily survive one Meteo here, and a dodge will let him get 2 in.
Does look like gonna safety cure. No reason to get too scary, because it's much faster to just throw out some heals than have to start over.
That's true too. It looked like something was. I mistakenly, I think it was a Cure 2 thrown on that Sid, I thought it was another nuke. But yeah, this is definitely going for the safer option, which you don't want to have to redo this fight. But now I am worried that, given that Sid is the anchor here, it's possible that Starville wears off. Hasn't yet. Okay. I was very concerned with that nuke coming out.
Yeah, sometimes you just accidentally nuke your party members. We've all done it at least 3 times. And Professor Renderer through the Ribbon Room boss. Just has a couple more bosses left here.
And we do see a Kamikaze queued up here. We're at the Meteo phase. We might see the very rare and elusive Zeroma's Crumble Skip. Does it have fewer than 632 HP? Dang. Well,
We
that would have
tried.
been. Yeah, we tried. But that hit finishes it. GG's to Scorch. Wraps up the fight with a 206-36. We'll see if he wants to come in for an interview shortly.
And I do believe we are joined by Scorch. GG's to you.
Thank you. That was the fun one.
Yeah, it's a really cool flag set. I think everyone was enjoying it quite a bit. I think the roughest part for most people was undoubtedly that hook route with the DKC and the Odin. Tell us what you were thinking going through there, how you decided which party to take, and just what your thoughts and plans were during that time.
Oh, when I saw that Odin on the hook route, I knew I was full clearing the planet for sure. Then DKC honestly wasn't horrible for me. I think I wiped to him once, but I was able to pretty quickly adapt because my characters had a pretty good deal of HP by that point. But man, I still underestimated that Odin. I think I wiped him at least twice.
Yeah, I loved it when you went in. Like, it looked like you realized, like, okay, if I can keep another player standing through the Odin attack, I
Exactly.
can heal up, Cecil's got it covered. You broke out the blink spells, worked like a charm. It was really great adaptation. I love to see that on the restream. It was really well done.
Thanks. Yeah, and I realized how many darts I had too.
And I'll also add that even though it extremely hosed you, I love the keyless tower play. I've always loved the keyless tower play. I'm glad you did it. I'm so sorry it had a pan and a twin heart behind it.
And it ended up giving me a last location for my first ever restream, right? I think that means it's a good initiation.
Yeah, but I for one love the play. Don't like in a big race too. Like 1v1, you know, it's a little different what kind of gambles you make. But in like a large group, like that's the kind of play that it's either gonna cause you a ton of pain or it could just win everything outright. So I like seeing it, and I hope it doesn't drag you down too bad how much it bit you tonight.
Yeah, fading the Fame March is what bit me tonight.
I also love doing that. Anyway, Allie, what did you see? What are you curious about?
Just kind of how you felt, this being the first time you're being restreamed. Did you have some of those restream jitters, or did you just kind of feel comfortable and say, I'm going to run my race?
Felt pretty comfortable. I'm not gonna lie, I looked through that flag set in pretty much in depth, seeing how difficult it was gonna be, and I wasn't gonna volunteer to be restreamed if it was a hard one tonight. But the seed brought me a lot of power, so I think that the jitters went away pretty quickly.
Excellent. And just how'd you feel with having a Sid hero? What's your thoughts on Sid hero?
I think it was pretty nice. I didn't have to worry about keeping that Tella around. I was able to have 4 really strong fighters, and I found an Artemis bow for him early. So even before that point, he was contributing.
Yeah, you're Sid doing 2,000 damage a pop to the D-Lunars, right?
Yeah, not
Yeah,
bad.
that was good. That was good. Using the like, that's one of those things also that everyone. I don't think anyone ever gets excited about having wide arrows, but they're really good in that fight and against Mylon Z. So it's one of those subtle things that's like, oh, it's this dinky little 20 power arrow, but you multiply it times 4, and all of a sudden you're in business.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was yeah, not that bad. I wish I didn't have all 17 key items at the end, and wish I got through it a little faster. But all in all, it was a good race.
Well, thank you for volunteering to be restreamed. It was, again, I think that especially your Odin situation was very instructive to anyone wanting to get better at the game and learn how to adapt, to recognize what's going wrong in a fight, and how to change up your strat to get through it. So I think you were fantastic, and I hope to see you volunteering again soon.
Yeah, thank you. GG's. Thanks for restreaming, everyone.
Thanks so much.
Have a good evening. Bye.
And we do see Professor Render here on the karate fight. We do know this is the key to the tower key.
That's true. Just a little bit more to go.
But while we're finishing up with our interview with Scorch, again, give our runners a follow. They're the ones putting on this fantastic show for you, doing the really, really hard part. Of course, except for our restreamer and tracker, they're also putting in lots of work.
Yeah, the rabbit hole's the seed, especially. You know, sometimes you have a seed where everything just falls into place. This is one where, you know, the keyless tower, the adamant rock being there in Feymarch, they had to put in a little bit of overtime tonight.
And then, of course, my co-commentator, and then it is always a pleasure.
It's a good time being in the booth with you, Allie. I won't lie. Yeah. I mean, it's always a fun time in the booth. Like, if you're antsy about signing up for comms, you're like, oh, I don't know. You should join the Restream team. It's a blast. You get to learn a lot about the game. You get to have a good time with other people who love the game. And if you're real lucky, you get to be in the booth with Alicel. So, I recommend it.
Aw, that's sweet. And if you're just watching for the first time, if you're kind of like wanting to check this out, but a little bit nervous or not sure where to start, join the Discord. It's full of awesome people. But I do think we are going to go ahead and send y'all off to Professor Renderer while he finishes out the seed. Just give him all your love. And
Mash that follow button.
Yes, smash the follow button. But yeah, I think you want to wrap us up, Inven?
No, just thanks everyone for hanging out. It was a really fun race. Gonna try to give a very quick rundown before I forget of what's coming up tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern, Free Enterprise. We have Evelyn Spelunking Club. On Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern, Music Appreciation here. Friday night, Community Racing 10 Eastern. Hero's Journey 3 o'clock Eastern. Yeah, the Friday night one's on Free Enterprise too, by the way. So yeah, lots of races coming up this week. We'll see you around for them. But yeah, give Professor Render your love. Let's cheer him on to the finish. And you all have a lovely night, friends.
Thanks, y'all, and have a great night.